Tony from Wisconsin. He asked, does boosting nitric oxide really build muscle, and are the supplements touted for this effective? That's a good question, Tony, because nitric oxide, NO supplements, NO boosting supplements, I should say, since there is actually no nitric oxide available. Nitric oxide consists of one molecule of nitrogen and one of oxygen. It's a gas, and it'd be very hard to put that in a bottle. You know what I mean? It's gone in 3 seconds, even when it's made in the body. So what they do is they usually put together ingredients in a supplement that are known to produce or increase the synthesis of arginine in the body. One example is arginine. The amino acid L-arginine is the immediate precursor for nitric oxide synthesis in the body. So you'll find that most of the NO boosting supplements that are available, they usually contain one form or another of arginine. So in that sense, it does make sense. The only problem with that is that arginine is not what they call the rate-limiting factor for nitric oxide synthesis. The actual limiting factor is the enzymes which synthesize arginine into nitric oxide. These are called nitric oxide synthetase enzymes, and there's about 3 main kinds. One of them is found in the endothelium, or the lining of the blood vessels. How active these are determine how much NO, or nitric oxide, is actually made from arginine. Now, another problem is the amount of arginine in some of these supplements. Most of them average about 3 or 4 grams of arginine. But the studies that show that arginine increases nitric oxide actually involve intravenous infusions of as much as 20 to 30 grams of arginine. So the question arises, what happens if I decide to take 20 grams of arginine? Well, what they show is if you take more than 10 grams of arginine orally, you get severe gastrointestinal distress, and you also get nausea. So the truth is that you probably wouldn't be able to hold down more than 10 grams of arginine. They found this out years ago when they were pushing arginine as a growth hormone booster. So the arginine itself, 3 or 4 grams, is not really going to be that big a deal as far as NO production goes. Now, a lot of bodybuilders have used these supplements, swear that they get a big pump, though. They said, I use those supplements, I go to the gym, and I feel the pump. I know it's doing something. Well, that's a real effect, because a lot of these supplements, besides having arginine, they also have a simple carbohydrate source. The simple carbohydrate source stimulates insulin, and guess what? Insulin dilates arteries. By dilating the arteries, you're going to get increased blood flow, you're going to get an increased pump. So in that respect, the supplements really are working. Now, is there a supplement that actually will increase nitric oxide? First of all, before I answer that, let me tell you, you don't want a huge increase of nitric oxide, because a huge nitric oxide is what they call a Janus molecule in the sense that it has bad effects, it has good effects. It's what they call a free radical. It can be dangerous in large quantities, and in large quantities, it kills cells. Remember that, it kills cells, so you don't want a large amount. So you want it controlled. Recent studies have shown that eating vegetables that contain elements called nitrates, these nitrates that are now found naturally in certain fruits and vegetables, especially vegetables, can be turned in the body into nitric oxide, and it bypasses the whole arginine effect. So specifically, what they've given is beets and beet juice. If you eat this stuff, you can actually increase your nitric oxide considerably, and in studies they've shown that drinking beet juice or eating beets increases oxygen delivery, and it also increases exercise intensity, both of which are indicative of an increased nitric oxide effect. If you add a herb called hawthorn, which is normally used to treat heart problems, hawthorn actually contains an enzyme which stimulates the conversion of nitrate into nitrite and then into nitric oxide. So it's a synergistic combination. Hawthorn and basically beet or beet juice is a very effective way to increase